The main boss for the event quest Enter the Cabal is going to be Red Skull. The big thing for him is going to be those local nodes and how they work with his actual abilities. So take a look at the local nodes. Adaptive basically is going to give him more physical resistance and energy resistance. Those buffs are going to be very important. He also has a special 2 bias. He's more defensive. He's immune to bleed, so don't use bleed champions against him or it's not going to be very effective. He builds up armor. His special attack 2 is unblockable. The first component is, and he increases power gain, and his shock is far more effective. Now going into his actual abilities here, when he uses a heavy and he's charging, he gains power. It's not super important for this fight. He also has the ability to have critical resistance and energy resistance. Again, not super useful for this fight in terms of mechanics. He also does reduce power gain for each debuff you have on you. He also gains a armor up buff whenever he gains a bar of power, and those will give him the most important factor, which is if you strike him when he is guarding, you will take direct damage based on the number of buffs he has, which is going to be immense, and you'll see this in the fight. This is what you do not want to do, is you do not want to attack his shield. Just to show you how much damage it does, I am going to attack his shield at the very beginning of this fight. Also kind of ignore that problem connecting, not super helpful. So right here, what you're actually going to want to do is basically guard against him and then do stun and then get your combo in. But you just saw there, when you attack his shield and he has buffs on, that's going to do massive amount of direct damage. So the strategy for this fight is going to basically be give him his first bar super and then dash backwards until you basically get him to activate his first super. His first super is completely dodgeable. We'll see it here shortly. He's basically going to do a teleportation attack, and then you have to wait for it after he punches downwards. So let's see here briefly. For the baiting, and so this is going to be very, very important, you cannot do the strategy of hitting his shield. You have to just do the dash backward strategy. That's it. So right here, he does that kind of melee attack, dashes forward, and then punches down. Now, for Red Skull, your biggest champions for beating him are going to be Doctor Voodoo and Magic. Also, you can have things like Ghost Rider, anything that's going to basically have debuff removal. The reason why Doctor Voodoo is better is because he puts poison counters on. So you see we have 14 poison counters on. We're doing 1,000 damage per second. You just saw a second super in case you do push him there. The only thing that's unblockable is the first component, so dash backwards. Then you dodge that Tesseract Blast, and then you can dodge the third component of it. Basically, you're just going to dash back continuously until that beam goes away. You also can just take the beam on your shield and kind of ignore it. The damage output's not severe, but you will take a fair amount of chip damage. It just depends on how you want to do it. So for the strategy, you're basically just going to be dodging the first super, dashing backwards, coming in right afterwards. When he doesn't have his bar of super energy, you can just parry him when he dashes in. The timing's a little bit wonky, so just make sure you're kind of watching that, and then doing a full combo afterwards. But don't push him to a second super, as it is much more punishing and it's very difficult to dodge. So I'd really recommend basically just doing the first bait super. Because you're trying to bait that first special attack, that's why Dr. Voodoo is so good, is that you can basically drop these massive poison counters on him, and additionally, you can use his third and second super to power control him. The other option for this is Magic. I'll also make another video for Magic, but for Magic, it's the same idea. You're going to basically use your second super to power control him, and then you use a third super to remove all of his buffs, and then do a massive amount of damage. I would recommend you do Magic's third super first, just to remove all those buffs, but you can do either one, it doesn't really matter. Again, just remember you're going to have to bait that first super. The big thing that people are going to die on is that they use the strategy of attacking the shield and dashing back to bait the first super. If you do that, you'll basically kill yourself against the shield. So make sure that when you're baiting his first super, that you're dashing backwards instead, doing the kind of wait for him to attack you, then dash back, wait for him to attack you, then dash back. Don't do the attack his shield, then dash back, because you're going to get destroyed by that damage through the direct contact. As you see, this is a completely doable fight with Dr. Voodoo, especially if you had Mystic Dispersion. So how I'm getting these massive amounts of energy is Mystic Dispersion, but you don't need that. You can just use the first super over and over again and not even do the power control third super. I hope this video was helpful. Good luck with your Uncollected run-through. Take a look at the other videos for the bosses and other walkthroughs. I hope this was helpful, and please like and subscribe. Comment below for any other videos you would like to see. If you have any other suggestions or other tips that people could find helpful, there's always other strategies that I haven't covered. Thanks.